All right, good morning. My name is Anna Fleece. Thank you for joining our Tuesday trainings. Today we are going to be focusing on farmers market vendors again. So 2 weeks ago, we had a chance to interview Brittany Hopkins of McAtack in Great Falls and her experience as a farmers market vendor becoming a full-time food entrepreneur. And today we are joined by Tammy Howard of NCAT as she talks about NCAT's farmer market success resources that they've developed. As you all know, I'm the Food and Ag Development Center Director for the Great Falls Development Alliance. The FADC network is an 11 centers spread across the state of Montana, and we're dedicated to helping food and ag businesses get the resources and technical assistance they need to thrive. So if you are a food or ag business looking to either become a farmer's or working your farmer's market or looking to grow your business, please reach out to your local Food and Ag Development Center. All right, Tammy, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to share some of the cool resources we've developed over the years to help farmers market vendors succeed.
Absolutely. And so I know NCAT works a lot with our local farmers markets in Montana. Can you share a few facts about farmers markets and how they work in Montana and any special characteristics they have?
I'm sure. Well, there's a lot of different types of farmers markets throughout Montana. Last time I checked, there were about 75 farmers markets throughout the state, and a lot of those are concentrated along western Montana, the 93 corridor, and in and around the I-90 and I-15 corridors, so basically the population centers. But we also have a lot of thriving rural farmers markets, and they provide an opportunity for new beginning farmers and farm and food businesses to sell their product, to test their products out on a consumer base and get feedback, and that helps them grow into either other marketing channels or expand from a farmer's market into another marketing channel, while also keeping their selling at a farmer's market. So
Excellent. And so what prompted you to create this vendor success toolkit?
well, we have NCAT, and our team in NCAT is a national not-for-profit. We are based in Butte, Montana, and we have, and I'll show this in a little bit here, but we have a program that's been going for almost like 40 years called ATRA, and it's a Sustainable Agriculture Information Service for farmers and ranchers and people that work with them. And we provide technical assistance and have a ton of different resources related to helping farmers succeed in their sustainable ag production practices and marketing. And so we also work, while we're a national not-for-profit, we also work a lot locally and work on local and regional projects. So we've been working on helping increase farmers market capacity for about 10 years. We started in as a pilot, working to help pilot SNAP authorization at like 6 different farmers markets throughout the state, and found that it actually capacity was a huge barrier to actually starting to accept SNAP. So that's when we started working on capacity for helping farmers market managers in the just amazing amount of tasks that they have to do to run a successful farmers market. And then that, of course, extends into success for vendors, the people that are selling at the farmers market. So I work a lot with farmers and beginning farmers on helping them improve their marketing strategies and on business planning and such. And so it was kind of a natural fit that we would develop some tools to help farmers market vendors in whether they're starting out or whether they're wanting to improve their marketing practices at farmers markets.
Excellent. And so let's say you wanted to start your own or join a farmer's market and start selling one of your own products, what is one of the first things you would do as a potential farmer's market vendor?
Well, yeah, I mean, I should say that I also come to this in my position at NCAT. I was a market gardener and farmer for like 20 years, and did a lot of farming in New York State and Arizona. And so I did sell a lot of my stuff through the farmers markets in New York State when I was farming there. And so it was one thing that is really great to consider about farmers markets as a vendor is the fact that they're pretty low risk. But depending on your location, they could also, there could also be quite a bit of competition and you may not be able to meet your income goals. So those are really important considerations, is like looking at the farmers markets in your region, and even like going there if you have time, assessing the competition, talking to the market manager, and kind of figuring out how your product can make a difference or be kind of a niche that other vendors aren't really selling, or a niche that they're not filling. So, and this might be a good opportunity to share the resource, and I can certainly like go online and share my screen and show you
I think that would
some of those resources on that we have, regarding some of those considerations. Is now a good
be a
time?
perfect
Okay.
time. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, cool. Okay. All right. I think y'all can see
Yep. You
this.
see this? This is great. And
Yeah. And so, just, it's at farmersmarketmt.com, and this is mainly a resource for farmers market managers, but how to start a farmers market, organizing them, food assistance programs, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But here's the vendor resources section that we started at. So basically, this is what we're calling a toolkit, is like a series of really short, basic presentations that our farmers market team felt needed to be, would be helpful for farmers market vendors that want to start selling at a farmers market. So first is that, market evaluation question that Anna, you were just asking, like what should people know and what should people consider before they become a vendor at a farmer's market. So that includes like a really short presentation on our farmers markets right for you. And then we have a few resources, including a case study of a farmer that was selling at a winter farmers market. And then there's that question of like setting yourself apart. So we have another video lesson and some good external resources. This resource, the storytelling toolkit, is a really great resource for any farmer that is doing direct marketing, or even some of those intermediate markets, about telling their stories. And using that as a marketing message. Then we have working with market managers. We have a case study on from the perspective of a market manager, like what you need to know. And another pretty short but impactful lesson. And then we're always getting questions about how to price products. So there's a resource on that, including a short video, and then lots of a few resources for folks to understand about product pricing.
And I
And
can just make a quick plug here. Your local Food and Ag Development Center can also sit down with you and work on pricing your products as well, figuring out the cost of goods sold, figuring out what sort of margin you're looking for. We're happy to do that too.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I think one of the things we talk about, and I do this particular presentation, and we talk about like the absolute bare minimum is just understanding your cost of production. So that's a really great plug for the Food and Ag Development Centers. I mean, I know you folks work with producers and farm businesses on understanding what those are and cash flow and all of those things. So
Certain
we touch on the importance of that, but we don't go into details about that. So yeah. And then finally, this is creating winning displays is another resource that or presentation. And then there's a worksheet here on doing your own, so you can design your own display. So I feel like that's a really great resource for folks. And then finally, we have two other resources, including expanding your marketing channels, because as I mentioned earlier, farmers markets are just one marketing channel. And I'm sure you, Anna, also recommend like having some diversity is a really great risk management tool. And farmers markets can be a springboard for doing other different types of marketing channel and getting your product name and just getting product feedback from your customers, and then also just it's a great way to expand into other marketing channels. So we
100%.
talk about that, and also talk about some expanding into like more regional markets in this publication here. So I think you're getting to understand the formula here. So the toolkit includes all of these different topics. This is probably the longest one because it's one of the more complicated ones is social media outreach and marketing. And we have lots of great external and internal resources for that. And so the formula here is that we have a short presentation. This is lesson 7 is the longest presentation. I think it's like 15 to 20 minutes, but most of them are in the time frame of 10 to 15 minutes. And then lots of resources for the vendor to actually follow up and kind of do some work on their own and evaluating this as a and getting started with being successful at selling at farmers markets.
So it
The
sounds
other thing
like,
oh, yep,
so
go
it sounds
ahead.
like it's a complete business class almost in like on one page. You can start right at the beginning and go all the way through and just kind of if you started like right now, we're on October 23rd. Most of the farmers markets are done. And if you worked on each of these all winter, you'd be in a really good spot come spring and summer.
Yeah, I mean, especially if some of these folks watching this are really interested in actually just getting started and haven't sold at a farmer's market before, I definitely recommend this. But also I think there's some resources here for people that want to like improve their sales at farmers markets. And then the last thing I just wanted to share is that free information resource that I had mentioned, and that is ATRA. And it's so we have just a bunch. This is a national program, but we just have so many amazing resources. We have a chat function. We have lots of different blogs and podcasts called Voices from the Field. And then we also have a bunch of different topics. So one, I think that it would be particularly relevant for the folks that might be here is this farm startup page, where we have trainings and lots of different resources related to getting, starting a farm. So I definitely wanted to mention that as
Absolutely.
another really great resource and technical assistance provider for folks wanting to get started with with farmers markets. So I'm going to stop sharing and see if you
Perfect.
have any more questions.
Always. But so at NCAT's provided all these wonderful resources and toolkits for beginning farmers and the farmers market. Do you offer any specific technical assistance? Could someone, for instance, sign up to talk with either you or someone on your team, or are you working more to provide these resources for people?
Oh, I absolutely provide technical assistance for my role as a agriculture specialist at NCAT and with our ATRA program. And the technical assistance is free, so you can just feel free to reach out. I did not point that out, but on Farmers Market Network website, we have Connect and TA as a topic tab at the very top. And so you can feel free to email us through that. We'd love to get something besides spam on the hooks. Right now we're getting a lot of spam, but really what it's meant for is for people to say, hey, oh, I was watching the market evaluation and had such and such a question. So, but I definitely provide technical assistance on any of the marketing stuff and do lots of talks on marketing and all that for various beginning farmer programs in Montana and throughout the country.
Excellent. That's really fantastic. My other question is that I know NCAT works primarily with a lot of farmers, but do you think, I know in my farmers market in Great Falls, we have a lot of craft people, we have a lot of like baked goods, other items like that. Do you think these tools and these video series would be helpful for more than just farmers?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is getting started. The vendor toolkit is for all different types of uh, farm food and craft vendors. We tried to not make it super farm centric. So we definitely, I mean, our work at NCAT and with the ETRA program, we do mainly work with farmers and ranchers and folks that work with them. But the toolkit is relevant to all vendors that are interested or are already selling at farmers markets.
Excellent. All right. Well, this was a fantastic toolkit, and it's wonderful to know more about what resources there are for farmers market vendors, for starting farmers, or even people who are a little in their journey and just want to double check that they're taking all the right steps to be profitable. Do you have any other fun things coming up at NCAT that you want to promote, or any other calls to actions you'd like to share?
Yeah, at this point, I we're starting to get into conference season and there's a lot of really great conferences out there for folks that want to get started at selling at farmers markets or just get started in farming in general. But we collaborate a lot with the Montana Farmers Union and with our collaborators at the Double Snap Dollars program with the Farm Connects. And they're based, Farm Connects is formerly the Community Food and Agriculture Coalition. And they have, I know I had mentioned that we did the pilot program for accepting SNAP. And so now we're working a lot with farmers on how to become SNAP authorized. So there is a program on in Great Falls, actually, in Cascade County, to help folks learn the process of becoming authorized to accept SNAP for farm businesses, or at farmers markets or through a farm stand or through a community supported agriculture program. So that is actually happening on Monday, October 28th. And I think you'll be sharing that in the resources, maybe in the show notes below.
Absolutely.
And then the program that I work with, we're starting a Harvest of the Month program. We've been doing it for a few years informally with a few different farmers markets. I think there's like 2 or 3 throughout the state. But now we're wanting to expand. Harvest of the Month, which is a program that features a monthly feature of a specific local food. And it's used a lot in schools, but now we're expanding that program into farmers markets and maybe and it's pretty flexible, but we're gonna be launching that program over the winter and be doing some trainings for vendors and farmers market managers. So we're excited about that, and we got some really great new tools for implementing that program, which is a really great marketing strategy for promoting the great Montana grown foods that are grown throughout the state and sold at farmers markets.
It's a fantastic program, and I always like learning more about it and seeing some of your beautiful drawings and recipes as well. So
yeah, so a lot of those recipes will be available to vendors that are selling those products, and they can hand those out at participating farmers markets.
which is a great way to encourage people to eat your veggies.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent. All right. Well, Tammy, thank you so much. Any last minute words of advice for beginning farmers markets vendors or beginning farmers in Montana?
No, I mean, just I guess the last thing I would suggest is, yeah, just making sure that if this is a marketing strategy that you're interested in, whether you're a producer or doing craft or value added products, just really go and find those farmers markets that are near you. Talk with the market manager, go, and if you're able, just like look at the products that are being sold and identifying how you can differentiate your own product. And you can find farmers markets through Abundant Montana, which I think would also be another really great show note thing to provide, because those farmers markets, not only can you list your own farm or farmer food business, but you could also use that map and that tool to find a farmer's market near you.
A fantastic mention of Abundant Montana. They really are a great resource. Yeah. One of my big takeaways from this is just there are so much support for people trying to become beginning farmers, starting farmers market, anything in the food and ag business. Montana is doing a lot to support that, either through state departments, not-for-profits, or nonprofits in our state. So please reach out and realize your resources. Tammy, thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate your time and your expertise. And this is a great toolkit and resource for Montana. So thanks so much for developing it.
You're welcome, and you take care.
Thank you so much.
Bye.